right, so today we've got some breaking news. It happened just on the 20th that Dr. Shiva, if you don't know who Dr. Shiva is, he's the inventor of email. So he's been in IT engineering. He ran in Massachusetts for a political office. I think it was a Senate campaign. I don't remember which campaign, but he ran for office in Massachusetts. And during that campaign, there was some issues with Twitter, and he's now had a lawsuit. It's been filed since September, and the judge at this point has granted him relief against Twitter on a couple of occasions, and he's exposed them for basically being a state sponsor of censorship. So basically, he's found a manual and a portal where government can go into and say, hey, you need to ban this person because they're speaking out against us. And Twitter can then ban that person. And at that point, that links a private entity into a government control, which causes the Section 230 to be null because now they are acting on behalf of a government by blocking someone. So I am going to start a little clip of the video from Dr. Shiva, and then I'm going to bring up the actual manual that he's showing, and show in there how that's linked to some other documents. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video from Dr. Shiva. I'm just going to play just a few minutes of it. You can watch the entire video of it. He streamed it live earlier today, and I'm going to put a link to the video in his channel down below. So let's go take a look at that video real quick. So here it is in this window, and let me get that started and make sure we've got sound for that. I think you do right there. And let's start that playing.
Organizations to take away our freedom, be it Trump or Bernie, Republican or Democrat. Show that Republicans and Democrats, both governments are involved. There goes O'Keefe's money. He's not going to get funded for that. Tucker Carlson will be exposed. He never put Hunter Biden on because they're buddies, right? So they keep the left-right BS going, and they take advantage of the Trumpers or the Bernie people, etc. This issue that we've uncovered in our lawsuit for the first time, and we've done it truly David versus Goliath. Not like David versus Goliath because it sounds good. No, we are David versus Goliath. No one gave us a penny. And in fact, what was interesting was on May 20, the 21st, a Twitter lawyer is saying, Your Honor, I just want to let you know, Dr. Shiva can't have shadow counsel. Meaning she was accusing me that I had someone else writing my briefs.
There we go. Now I can hear it.
That's how strong our briefs are. So lawyers and people who raise money for these causes, I have no idea why they need so much money. I mean, Americans should start learning how to stand up on their own 2 feet and fight. And that's why what we're saying, our site, winbackfreedom.com, it's a very interesting slogan, win back freedom. First of all, it says we've lost our freedom. We've lost it. And Republicans and Democrats have colluded with these organizations to take away our freedom, be it Trump or Bernie, Republican or Democrat. And again, I want to let everyone know, I never voted in my life except Trump. I was convinced he was anti-establishment, but you know what? In those 4 years, he didn't go after election fraud hard. They used it to raise money. And that's what it's about, JD. You nailed it. These people create a dialectic. So the right says mail-in ballots are the issue, and the left says voter suppression. No, the real issue is what we uncovered, which was all voting machines. All of them have a feature called a weighted race feature. We showed that here. And my other lawsuit has not been thrown out of court too. All of Trump's work. He had lawyers. I mean, you should go look at their briefs. Spelling mistakes in them. Horribly written. I mean, people need to wake the hell up. These guys take any issue and they will make it appear as though they're fighting for it, left and right. And that's why nothing changes, because there is the not so obvious establishment on any issue. They're making money off of it. I mean, I looked at the DeSantis bill. It's a bullshit bill. Excuse my language. It's going to get ripped apart in court because they're saying Twitter is a private actor. Twitter is going to destroy that. Our lawsuit pierces this whole thing. It shows wave and particle are one. Government and big tech are one. Where government ends and where Twitter begins, no one knows. So what they're doing is they're laundering censorship. The government gets to launder censorship to Twitter, and they can say, we didn't throw JD off. We didn't throw Shiva off. They did it. The private party. This is the heart of the issue.
And they provide the evidence.
They provide an infrastructure, an SOP. It is designed. It is designed step-by-step processes. This is a user manual for state-sponsored censorship.
I've often said that the censorship efforts of the technocracy in the United States makes Kim Jong-un's pale by comparison.
Yeah, we blame China. We blame Russia. This country, the problem here we have is, look, I've traveled all over the world. The American people are the kindest, nicest people in the world, but they've been made naive.
All right, so that was Dr. Shiva, and I'm going to put a link in the description of this video directly to that full video that he did today. And so next thing I want to show is that manual that he's got holding up right there. That is the playbook for how government is going to report anybody that speaks out against it, whether it's true or not. If they don't like what you say, they can just go on to Twitter, post to their private portal that they don't like what you said, and it goes against them, and Twitter will then ban you and have you silenced. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that manual here. That manual is still in this one. I'll just have to go over here and switch the tab. So here's the manual. Election Influence Operations Playbook. So this manual talks about how to identify if anybody's speaking out against them and discouraging disinformation. Free speech is about everybody having a voice, whether that be true or false. Free speech is about everybody being able to say what they want to say. And at this point, we've got direct proof. Dr. Shiva explains that he had emails from them that said that they went on to this private portal on the private portal on Twitter's website and reported him. So that means that at that point, Twitter is now acting on behalf of a government, which is now makes the Section 230 completely irrelevant. And that's why his lawsuit is winning in so many different areas. And it's very important for this lawsuit to proceed and for him to get vindication on. So this playbook right here outlines how to identify and where they can censor and how to censor and how to report it. And so they've basically written a manual for governments to interact with Twitter, and I think it's happening in other areas as well. It's not only happening on Twitter; it's happening on Facebook. It's happening on YouTube. So there's going to be a call to action here, and that is that if you in your state you have a right to know request, I think it would be a good idea for everybody to be able to request, as a right to know, any partnerships. You don't want to single out just any partnership with Twitter. You want to just ask for, you want to know all the partnerships that the government has with any entity. So that way you can then pick out the areas, and we may, during those information requests, we may find that Twitter, or that the local governments have more partnerships with more than just Twitter or Facebook or YouTube. We may find them partnerships in a lot of areas where we're getting our voice silenced. So I want to go back, looking at, I've read over this document, and it talks about, threat influencers and operations, and how to identify them and what to say. And so this brought up a good thing that I had read, or and found out about several years ago, and that is this Marxist Communist Manifesto. So this was basically a communist manifesto that was written, I think this was, see if it's got a publication date on it, by Karl Marx. I think this was written a while ago, like more than 60 years ago. So Marx published in 1859 this manifesto that talks about how to influence and the communist ways of how to influence. So this is where the roots of this come from. So it's really important that you share this video with as many people as you can. We need to get as much support for Dr. Shiva and this case. Get it, at this point, the mainstream media is not going to cover this because it goes directly against their narrative of getting our voices heard. And so I just think that, we need to expose this and get this out to as many people as we can, and be our own media at this point. So here is Dr. Shiva's website. It goes in more detail on updates on his case. You can actually pull the actual case and pull the actual transcript from that of what Twitter actually said. He explains in his video that Twitter, when they were in court, said that they blocked him on their own, and he's like, well, no. So he went and wrote a brief for the next day, because they got to say their side of it one day, and he got to come back the next day and rebut that. So he wrote his brief for the rebuttal on the next day, and put the email where they explained in the email that they blocked him because of the messages that they got from the election officials at the county. And the judge is like, well, yeah, that means that you just lied to yesterday in court and didn't tell the truth. And so the judge has actually entered this playbook as evidence in the case. And then, Dr. Shiva is asking that, if you support him and his efforts here, to go to his website. He's asking for $1. He's asking for $1 from, as many people that want to give as possible, to help him with his legal costs and help pursue this free speech. So this is showing government made Twitter silence political speech, and that is definitely a First Amendment no. Can't do that. So please go take a look at that. and share this with as many people as we can. We need to get as many people behind Dr. Shiva as we can, and we will bring you more of this as we get updates on it. And like I said in yesterday's video, this is about what's next, what's on the horizon, or what's coming down the road. About what we need to do next. And this is, it broke this morning. I watched this live stream this morning. It was about 2 hours long. So I encourage you to go watch that whole video.